So, let's just get right to it. Can you really eat your way to a better sex life? It's a bold question, for sure, but the science and nutrition behind it are absolutely fascinating. We're going to explore whether the food we eat can genuinely influence not just our desire, but our overall sexual health and performance.
And it's really worth exploring because the benefits of a healthy sex life go way beyond the bedroom. Seriously, we're talking about a stronger immune system, sleeping better, lower blood pressure, even less stress. It's a huge part of our overall physical and mental well-being.
Okay, so before we start rattling off a grocery list, it's super important to understand why certain foods might actually work. It really all comes down to the biology, and there are two key pathways that have a major influence on our sex drive.
And it pretty much boils down to these two things. First up, boosting your blood flow. You need really efficient circulation to make sure oxygen and all those good nutrients are getting to your sexual organs. And second, balancing your hormones. Your body needs the right building blocks, think specific minerals and vitamins, to produce hormones like testosterone, which are absolutely crucial for desire. Now, to understand blood flow, we have to talk about something called nitric oxide. Just think of it as the body's natural traffic controller for your bloodstream. It's a compound that acts as a vasodilator, which is just a fancy way of saying it relaxes the inner muscles of your blood vessels. This makes them widen and improves circulation. It literally opens up the highways for your blood.
Right, so if nitric oxide is the traffic controller, then L-arginine is like the raw material used to build the control tower. It's an amino acid that your body actually converts into nitric oxide. So it's pretty simple. No L-arginine, no nitric oxide boost. It's a really crucial piece of the puzzle.
Okay, now that we've got the science down, let's actually connect it to the grocery store. What foods are just packed with the stuff you need to really get your circulation going? Get this. This powerful claim comes from researchers at Texas A&M, and it's about a super common summer fruit you've probably got in your fridge right now. Watermelon. I mean, that is a very bold statement for a simple picnic snack.
So how does it actually work? Well, it's this beautiful, natural chemical reaction. First, you eat watermelon, which has something called citrulline. Then, your body converts that citrulline into our friend L-arginine. And as we just learned, L-arginine boosts nitric oxide levels, which then relaxes those blood vessels and improves blood flow. Simple as that.
But hey, watermelon isn't working alone here. Broccoli is super high in vitamin C, which helps circulation. Beets are rich in these things called dietary nitrates that expand blood vessels in a similar way. Apples have an antioxidant called quercetin, also known to promote circulation. And ginger, well, that's a traditional circulation enhancer that's been used for centuries.
But look, circulation is only half the story. To really see how this all connects, we need to look at that second pathway, the specific nutrients that are basically the building blocks for our hormones.
And when we talk about hormones and libido, we have to talk about zinc. This mineral is an absolute powerhouse. It plays a central role in regulating testosterone levels in men, but it's also been shown to enhance clitoris sensitivity in women. So yeah, it's a vital nutrient for sexual health across the board.
So where do we find these building blocks? Well, eggs are a fantastic source of protein for stamina, plus B vitamins to help balance hormones. Nuts and seeds like walnuts and pumpkin seeds are full of zinc. And hey, remember that L-arginine we talked about? They're packed with that too, so they actually support both pathways. Avocados have healthy fats and a mineral called boron, which might benefit testosterone. And flax seeds have compounds that can be really helpful for women with low estrogen.
Okay, so now we know what to add to our plates. But it's just as important to know what might be getting in the way. Let's talk about the foods that could be working against all your best efforts.
And this is where the science gets a little complicated. A perfect example is the oyster. For centuries, it's been called the ultimate aphrodisiac because it's loaded with zinc. But some nutritionists now warn that because they're shellfish, they can absorb toxins and parasites from the ocean, and those risks might just outweigh the benefits. It's a genuine contradiction.
And then there are some foods that can pretty much directly counteract everything we're trying to achieve. Processed baked goods, for example. They've got trans fats that can clog arteries and reduce oxygen flow to your sexual organs. Same story with the high saturated fat in cheese. It can contribute to restricting circulation. See, it's all about keeping those pathways open.
So when you kind of step back and look at all this information, a really clear pattern starts to emerge. A diet that supports your cardiovascular health, keeps your arteries clear, and gives you the building blocks for hormonal balance, well, that's the exact same diet that's likely to support a healthy sex life. The two are completely, totally linked. And remember, it doesn't matter if we're talking about watermelon or walnuts. It all just boils down to supporting two systems: your circulatory system for blood flow and your endocrine system for hormonal health. If you master those, you've pretty much built the foundation.
And that leaves us with a final thought to chew on. Maybe the most powerful way to fuel desire isn't found in one single magic food, but in our overall approach to health. Maybe the ultimate aphrodisiac is simply a healthy body. It's definitely something to think about.